My name is Sarah Rutman, and it is a privilege to be sharing Torah with you on the Beth Tikva YouTube channel from Montreal. Special thanks to Rachel Schlossberg for the beautiful graphics and to all of you for listening. This is based mostly on a class by Rabbi Y.Y. Jacobson. We are taught that Hashem took us out of Egypt b'yad chazakah uvizron netuya, with a strong hand and with an outstretched arm. It's in the Torah text. It's in the Passover Haggadah. It's in chapter 136 in Tehillim. But Hashem doesn't have a hand or an arm. It's all a metaphor. Let's look at the story of Batya, the daughter of Paro. She's walking along the Nile River, and she sees a basket and stretches out her arm, and miraculously her arm becomes longer, and she saves the baby in the basket. If my arm suddenly got longer, I think I'd run away in terror. Her maidservants remind her of her father's decree to kill all the Jewish babies. She lives in the palace. They tell her that she is crazy to even think of defying her father like this. She realizes that she cannot remain passive and do nothing in the face of such terrible, incredible darkness and cruelty. She has to do something. So she sees this little basket and she stretches out her arm. But how far could her arm go? Her hand is limited. But in history, there is an invisible hand of Hashem. And as she stretches out her arm, there is an invisible, limitless arm that joins her arm, and then things happen that are absolutely unimaginable. Okay, so she takes the baby out of the water. Does she really think she can bring a Jewish child into the palace of Pharaoh, and Pharaoh is going to let this child live? And yes, this child grows up as a grandchild of Pharaoh. And Rabbi Y.Y. Jacobson says, in the name of some general, the difficult we do immediately, the impossible takes a little bit longer. So when it says that Hashem took us out of Egypt with a strong arm and with an outstretched hand, he's talking about Batya. She stretched out her arm when it seemed to be the craziest thing to do, but she understood that there are times in life that you just have to try. Do you know that Batya is an Egyptian woman who has a Hebrew name, and that she saves a Jewish child and gives him an Egyptian name? Moshe actually had many Hebrew names, but the only name we know him by is Moshe, which means I took you out of the water. Why is it so important to know that he was taken out of the water? Because she wanted Moshe and all of us to remember that the miracles actually started right here. She did the impossible, and the impossible became a reality. We read about Batya every day in our prayers before we say Az Yashir, Vayar Yisrael et Hayad Hagdola. Israel saw the great hand that Hashem inflicted upon the Egyptians. The strong hand that Hashem used to take us out of Egypt was the arm of Batya. It was the ability of this woman to say, no, I am going to try, because I cannot stand by and see what's going on. What's a mitzvah? A mitzvah is not a good deed. Mitzvah comes from the root of tzevet, which means a team. When we do a mitzvah, we team up with Hashem. A mitzvah is like a tractor beam. You step into it and it connects you to Hashem. Beam me up, Scotty. I always love Star Trek. With every bracha, with every prayer, with every good deed, my appreciation of Hashem in the world increases. We are called Yedidim, which is translated as beloved. We are beloved to Hashem. But you can break up the word into yad and yad, hand in hand. Hand in hand, Hashem takes us to places we didn't imagine were possible. It's the ultimate partnership.